भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Mantra number 3. We are currently studying this mantra. Parelanahan hitam guhayam vibhrajate yadyatayo vishanti vedanta vijnana sunischitartaha sannyasa yoga dyataya shuddha sattvaha. That which is higher than heaven, seated in the cave, shining resplendent, that the ascetics enter. Those ascetics are well established in Vedantic wisdom to become pure sattva through yoga of renunciation. Now, very oft-quoted, very important mantra. Very oft-quoted, very important mantra in the sense he talks about, for all practical purposes, it is more like a consolidation of the entire knowledge. This mantras is the consolidation of the entire knowledge. The prescribed sadhanas is clearly explained. What sadhanas has to be done has to be explained. Is explained in this verse, in this mantra, and also it is taking a person to the ultimate state of self-realization. So in that sense, it is a very important. In that sense, it's a very important mantra, and it very clearly establishes a few. The first thing that it has established in the previous mantra is karma cannot give moksha. Karma cannot give moksha. Na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike. So karma and all that associated with karma. So first thing that he has established very clearly is karma cannot give moksha. It is only tyaga that gives moksha. Karma, you have to understand it as two. Action is all, karma is called action. Karma is consequences of action also. For both the common word. Karma means action. Karma means the consequences of action. Moksha is not an action. Moksha is not a consequence of an action. Moksha is not a product of some action, nor is it moksha is not an action, nor is it a consequence of an action. For example, talking is an action, and there is a consequence to this action of talking. Listening is an action, and there is a consequence to this action of listening. So there are two. One is the action, another is the consequence. So the Sanskrit word karma, na karmana na prajaya dhanena, means what it means. Karma cannot give moksha. And in Vedantic literature, in Upanishadic literature, karma also means rituals, prescribed actions. Karma means action. Karma means consequences of action. Karma means prescribed action also. That's where you find Nitya Karma, Naimittika Karma and all that. So all are grouped under this one word, karma. We don't say it separately. And the context you have to understand what they mean. They will not say Nitya Naimittika Karma. English you have to do your obligatory actions. Don't do. You should not act on Raga Dvesha. All these kind of different varieties of explanations about actions and all will not come. They simply says na karma, na karmana na prajayadanena. So na karma means, so first thing that you have to understand is it is neither an action nor a consequence of an action. Action means, in the Vedic Vedantic sense, sacrificial actions. Actions means sacrificial actions. Sacrificial actions in the Vedic times is rituals. Just as sacrificial actions in the modern times is what? If you say, you have to do, I am doing sacrifice. Now, what is sacrificial action in modern times? Orphanage, taking care of orphans, old age, social work. Social work. In a very broad sense, you can call it as all types of social work is what is meant by rituals. Is what is meant by rituals. Now, please understand, whenever in Vedanta, Upanishads, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita criticizes and say karma is useless, please understand, karma is useless for moksha. They are not saying karma is useless. They only say karma cannot give moksha. Carefully understand the difference. Otherwise, what has happened is there is this tremendous misunderstanding, because we all have come into knowledge now. We all have come into wisdom. Therefore, I will not do any actions. For all actions are useless. Are you able to follow? Now, they are not saying karma is useless. Karma cannot give moksha. If karma cannot give moksha, then what it gives? If karma cannot give moksha, then what it gives? It can give a few, it can give. What are the few that it can give? It can give naraka, agitated life, or it can give swarga, a happy life, or the third it can give is what is known as the path of Narakaloka, the path of return, the path of no return, Brahmaloka, from the path of no return, Brahmaloka, to moksha. Now, what you have to understand here is action directly does not give moksha. Then what it will do? It can give you any one of the three. What are the three? It can give you naraka, or it can take you to swarga, or it can take you to Brahmaloka. Any of the three it can take you, but moksha comes through what? Moksha comes through Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitartha. Karma lam panni or maturity vandu Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitartha. And the Sunischitartha is very, very important. Sunischitartha. Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitartha Sannyasa yoga dyataya Shuddha Sattvaha. Now, what is this Shuddha Sattvaha? I'll come to that. First, let us see what is this Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitarthaha. What does that mean? Vedanta Vijnana means the knowledge of Vedanta. Vedanta Shastra, the book, the words, the book, these are all the Vedanta Vijnana. Those ascetics well established in Vedantic wisdom, they are not self-realized people. Established in Vedantic wisdom, don't think that they are all self-realized. Those ascetics are well established in Vedantic wisdom. To become pure Sattvana, they are still in the path of. To become pure Sattva means they are still in the path. They are not established. So what is this Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitarthaha? Karma cannot give moksha. Vedanta Vijnana alone gives moksha. Are you able to follow? This is the, that's why this mantras, this Upanishad is very important in our studies because it says that very clearly. Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitarthaha. Sunischitarthaha means without doubt. Without a doubt. Now there are so doubts. First of all, Vedantic knowledge itself is the patha. That itself is a big question mark. Plus also so many people say so many paths. Clear? Vipassana will say one thing. Clear? Anga poi gammun for 10 days. You can come back more mad. Nothing changes there. You know, one person says one thing. So you really do not know what is. So there is no sunischitarthaha. There is no conviction in. There is no conviction in the knowledge. What does conviction in the knowledge means? Moksha is possible only through Vedanta Vijnanam. Therefore, moksha is possible only through this, and to gain this Vedanta Vijnanam, Karma Yoga helps. Are you able to follow? Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitarthaha. Sunischaya Arthaha. The Vedanta Arthathula Nischayam Artham. Arthaha means the meaning of Vedanta. Meaning in the sense, Arthaha meaning in the sense of the central theme, the primary theme. What is the central theme, the primary theme? Are you able to follow? Arthaha means the primary theme, the central theme, the essential theme of Upanishad. The essential theme of Upanishad, the essential theme of Vedanta, there is a conviction in that. Now, what is the central theme of the Upanishads? Are you able to follow? What is the central theme of the Upanishads? The central theme of the Upanishads is very simple. Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva Na Paraha. This is the central message of the Upanishads. So Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitarthaha means a conviction in this, without any doubts. Not that you have attained to moksha. You are convinced that this is it. Those people are called those ascetics who are well established in this Vedantic wisdom. Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitarthaha. Are you able to follow? Sannyasa Yoga Dyataya Shuddha Sattvaha. In order, now that they are convinced in the central theme of Vedanta, what do they practice union with? What do they practice union with? Sannyasa Yogat. Sannyasa Yogat. They practice union with sannyasa. What is practicing union with sannyasa means? Practicing sannyasa. Practicing sannyasa. Practicing sannyasa means the jnanam. Practicing of sannyas means vairagyam goes on increasing. The increase in the intensity of vairagya is called sannyasa. That's what sannyasa is all about. Literally, sannyasa means leaving, we say no. Sannyasa means let go of renunciation. Now, what is sannyasa yoga? What is sannyasa? Sannyasa is nothing but establishment in vairagya. And this establishment in vairagya happens. This establishment in vairagya happens when do you understand the knowledge of Vedanta. And what does the knowledge of Vedanta say? The central theme is Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. Clear? Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya nu solliyachena. Practice sannyasa from Mithya. Okay, sir, it is Mithya, but let me have enough of Mithya, and then let me be secure in Mithya, and then I will aspire for moksha. Abdinna, the Guru will say, correct. Go back and do Karma Yoga for another 100 years. Because the person says, first let me secure myself in Mithya. Okay, sir, you are calling it as Mithya and all that. To me, it is not yet Mithya. To me, it is real. Therefore, what I should do, I have to first have some basic stability in Mithya, and then I will come to understand. More and more effort you put to get established in Mithya, to get out of Mithya, it's a faulty logic. You can never come that way. It's like saying, let me fully get established in disease, then I will ensure that I go for treatment. Modalla disease la strong aidum sir. Apprama will go for cure. Adu eppadi nadakum? More and more you are getting established in disease, that much difficult to get out. Therefore, what is sannyasa yoga? Practicing sannyasa. Practicing sannyasa in relation to what? In relation to Mithya. Already. What is the central theme of Vedanta? Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. So what are you supposed to do with Jagat? Understanding it as Mithya. Carefully follow. Sannyasa means understanding the Jagat as Mithya and leaving it. Not calling it as problematic and leaving it. Please understand. We don't Upanishad level idella discuss pannakoodadhu. Upanishad level all this is understood very clearly. For he is not letting go of the. You don't leave the Mithya because of the pain, because of the sorrow, because of the suffering. You leave it because you leave the world because you have understood it as Mithya. Why we are not able to practice sannyasa? Why are we not able to let go? Because Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitartha has not yet happened. It is still not understood as Mithya. How much ever we keep hearing, this is temporary, this is temporary, this is temporary. It doesn't look temporary. It doesn't appear temporary. This temporary thing is not convincing at all. Therefore, there is no Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitartha. So, what is it? Temporary. So, practice sannyasa. With what you practice sannyasa? In the central theme, connected to the central theme. What do you practice sannyasa with? You practice sannyasa with mithya and shuddha tattvaha. Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitarthaha sannyasa yogat. Sannyasa yogat. Are you okay till now? Sannyasa yogat yatayah shuddha sattvaha. Now Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitarthaha we have understood. Karma will not give, we have understood. And sannyasa yoga we have studied. Each and every word I am taking the word and I am trying to explain it. Now what it means? Yatayah. Yatayah. Yatayah means ascetics. Ascetics na yaar. Who are the ascetics? The ascetic is one who is committed to sannyasa, jnana yoga, moksha. He is a yatayah. Yatayah. Sannyasis are called yatis also. Yatayah. Sannyasis are called yatis, meaning their conviction has shifted from to Jagat Satyam, Radulendra Jagan Mithya. Karma makes Jagat Satyam. Karma makes you believe that Jagat is Satyam. Now they have understood that Jagat is Mithya. Now who is this Yatayah? Ascetics. Ascetics are those who have understood that the world is Mithya. Those who are committed to the pursuit of moksha. Those who are committed to the pursuit of moksha. Yatayah means shift from unselfishness to selflessness. That's Yatayah. Not from selfish to unselfish. Selfish to unselfish, enna varum solliyaachu already. Selfish to unselfish, what will you get? Punya, heaven. So Yatayah means shift from unselfishness to selfless. The change of the shift, the change of direction. From selfish to unselfish is an effort. Selfish to unselfish is an effort. Unselfishness to selflessness is a tremendous effort. It burns you up from inside. You will be literally torn apart inside to move from unselfish to selfless. A sannyasi, Yatayah, takes that. And where is the strength coming from? Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitarthaha. Are you able to follow? Again, the strength over the Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitarthaha. The conviction comes from that, and Yatayah means the shift. What is the shift? From unselfish to moksha. That is the shift. Because here, in the level of the Upanishads, we don't even talk about selfishness at all. They criticize the limitations of unselfishness. Carefully understand. Generally, we criticize selfishness and praise unselfishness. Are you able to follow? Upanishads criticizes unselfishness. But what about selfish? Selfish, they don't even, they don't associate with, that at all. Yeah. Look at that. That's why are able to follow the level of the Upanishad, the glory of the Upanishad is selfishness is dismissed as non-existent. Unselfishness is criticized as useless. Selfishness don't exist. Unselfishness is criticized as useless. Upanishad is closed. Nobody will want to come to Upanishad. Yeah. Unselfishness is criticized. Are you okay till now? Yatayata means the ascetics. Some ascetics, what they do, they make a blunder. Some ascetics makes a blunder. And Himalayan blunder they make. What is that Himalayan blunder they make? Parena nakam nihitam guhayam vibrajate yadhyatayo ishanti Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitartaha Sannyasa Yoga Yataya Shuddha Sattvaha. What is the Himalayan blunder that some of the ascetics makes? The Himalayan blunders that some of the ascetics makes is what you have to link it to verse number 4. Te Brahma Lokeshu Parantakale. Te Brahma Lokeshu Parantakale. Sitting in Brahma Loka for Antakale. Pralaya Mudiyarku, they have to sit there. Wait for me. Okay, Sandoshama Ukandrakuno. Analu Ukandrakuno. Remember 95%? I said last class 95% and 5%. So what they do? They commit this Himalayan blunder. What is that Himalayan blunder? As they are doing this Vedanta, Vijnana, Sunischitartha and all that, instead of with Vairagya holding on to knowledge and getting to moksha directly, they keep doing some unselfish activities also. Only unselfish activities, Swargaloka, come back. Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitartha plus unselfish activity, what happens? Brahmaloka and Brahmaloka quite over half a day and the Parantakale. That's why I have to, that's how it is connected to verse number, mantra number 4. I'll read the mantra number 4 also, and then we read it combined, it becomes easy. Now mantra number 4. Te Brahma Lokeshu Parantakale Paramrutat Parimuchyanti Sarve. Te Brahma Lokeshu Parantakale. All those in Brahmaloka, by the end of time, become totally liberated through supreme immortality. They will be sitting in Brahmaloka. Will be sitting in Brahmaloka. Eliminate the Raga Dvesha. Eliminate the Raga Dvesha. Develop Vairagya. What is Vairagya? We have said this any number of times. Vairagya is the ability, the knowledge, the conviction with which you have understood Raga Dvesha as inimical to you. Vairi, enemy. What is the Vairi, enemy? Raga Dvesha is the Vairi. Raga Dvesha is the enemy. Now, what have they understood? The grades. The grades. At the lowest grade, like a Rakshasa. The lowest grade is a Rakshasa. Grades of Rakshasas irukkranga. Illaya Rakshasa grades of Rakshasas. Now, what is the Rakshasa? Pursuing Raga Dvesha without any morals, without any discipline, no nothing. Correct? This is the lowest category. Then comes slightly better. Inga vandu konja Vedanta jnanam vandirukku, little bit, but not Sunishchitarthaha illa. Little bit of Vedantic knowledge. What is a little bit of Vedantic knowledge? This Raga Dveshatha kuda oru nyayama fulfill pananum. Sambadhikkiradha nyayama sambadhikkanum. Acquisition should happen, but that acquisition should happen dharmic acquisition, sir. What is your problem? Vedanta only says adharmic acquisition. No, adharmic acquisition apati pesaradhukku Vedanta is not required. Yeah. Dharmic acquisition. And then comes betterment. What is betterment? Continuing to do this, I start developing a understanding. What is understanding? The joy, the bliss is not coming because of the fulfillment of Raga Dvesha. The joy is coming because of the support of Dharma. All along the person is misunderstanding that joy is through fulfillment of likes and dislikes. Now the person understands it is not because of the fulfillment of likes and dislikes. The joy, the bliss is because of the Dharma. Are you able to follow the shift in so he understands that it is the principles that is giving him the standing for the principle is giving him the happiness. Yeah. You want to get up in the morning. Body says don't get up. Mind also says don't get up. Weatherman report also says don't do that. Yeah. You obey all of them. Something in you is not happy about it. Happy about your own self. Let the weatherman say what they want. Let the body say what it wants. Let the mind say what it wants. I am up. Suddenly what happens? There is an erectness in your personality. There is a strength to your personality. Now, the strength is coming from what? The strength is not coming from the fulfillment of the likes and dislikes. Strength is coming only when you are the master of the likes and dislikes. Are you able to follow? Where is the strength? Where is the strength coming from? Where do you look better in your own eyes? Not when you have fulfilled the likes and dislikes. Wherever you have mastered it, wherever you refuse to be a victim of it, you suddenly become powerful in whose eyes? Your own. Adudha Vairagyam. Are you able to follow? Once you get a small glimpse like this here and there, then the thinking was little bit here and there itself is so much. If this becomes my way of life, now this means what? This means not becoming a victim of likes and dislikes becomes my way of life. How much more qualitative my life will be when he has decided that 24/7, carefully follow, when he has decided that 24/7 mastering the Raga Dvesha is the way of life. Mastering the likes and dislikes 24/7, not on weekends, not one cheating day, not one rest day. No. 6 days of, okay, sir, 6 days I have practiced of, 6 days I have practiced. So one day, let me indulge a little bit. Vedanta is not saying don't indulge, it's saying indulge. But the consequences of it, Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitartha, the consequences of it will immediately prevent you from doing it. Yeah. Vairagya. See, even yesterday evening, he was talking about it, no? The virus of attachment. What a power and what a conviction when he started talking about the virus of attachment. Oh my God, it was so wonderful. He was talking very softly and building. The moment that point about that attachment came, he doesn't look like that 93-year-old. The entire thing came back. That's sannyasa. That is the power of vairagya. That is the power of sannyasa. So, what people do as they are practicing sannyasa, inadvertently they do lot of unselfish activities also. As they are practicing gaining this knowledge and understanding, by mistake or carried away by some raga dvesha, they do lot of unselfish activities also. Are you able to follow? Activity will give a pala. Action will give a result. As a doer, you cannot escape. As a doer, you cannot escape enjoying the fruits. That can't escape enjoying the fruit is what is called as consequences. As a doer, you have to necessarily experience the consequence of your karma. The consequence of your karma can be two: agitation or swarga or naraka. Figuratively speaking, yeah. I'm just I'm very liberally using the word swarga naraka because we are very clear, at least, that we understand that it's not a geographical place. We don't think that we are going to go there, and the basic clarity irukundradanaala I am saying I'm using this swarga naraka in a very liberal way. Are you able to follow? Now, from fulfilling likes and dislikes as the only aim and purpose in life, we saw two fulfilling likes and dislikes within some boundaries, and the boundaries is the Sanskrit la dharma appear. That's what they call as dharma in Sanskrit. So you fulfill likes and dislikes, but then some dharma, but then you realize that the joy is not coming because of the fulfillment of raga dvesha. The joy is because of you conquering the raga dvesha, mastering the raga dvesha, you not being a victim of the raga dvesha. And then you further go deeper and understand, if this becomes the way of life, how? If this becomes the way of life, how much more the life would be better. Anga வந்து என்ன சொல்றது? அது என்ன life better pa? Life itself is mithya. Live. So live that also. Huh? What? Stages 1, 2, 3 kadayadu. Whatever the number is, I don't know the numbers. I don't. She's saying, is this the third one? She asked. I said, it's not numerical. There are stages. Avladha. Are you able to follow? Therefore, what happens? Even the idea of a better life and peaceful life also is discarded. Te brahma lokeshu parantakale. The fellow who made a mistake of doing something unselfish has to necessarily sit in Brahmaloka. Ashvalayana is that kind of a person. Nachiketas went and he refused to become an Ashvalayana. Whatever was tempted to him, Nachiketas kept on saying, no, 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 no. He kept on saying, he never allowed himself. Janaka, though having everything, he never allowed himself. He never allowed himself. Ashvalayana must have thought sometime in the past. Backup in case Vedanta Vijnana Sunishyarna, konja doubt. So what he did, he got carried away by some unselfish activity. He just got involved in some activity. He just got involved in some unselfish activity, which is the Upanishadic language of karma, ritual. The Upanishadic style of talking about involvement in unselfishness is ritual. Now, some of the people who don't understand this, who don't understand this, this knowledge, who don't understand the entire framework of knowledge, they say, oh, rituals are all bad, but unselfishness is okay. What? So Upanishads are only talking bad about the rituals, but unselfish social work is good. Vedanta says unselfishness is ritual. Unselfishness is ritual. Then what you should do? Become selfless. Yatayaha. And what is yatayaha? What do? They do only one thing they do. What is the only thing they do? Sannyasa yogat. They practice union of disengaging from raga, dvesha. And how do they do it? Raga dvesha is inimical. Raga dvesha is inimical to what? Jiva Brahmaiva na aparaha. Clear? Jivo Brahmaiva na aparaha. And what is it that is keeping the Jiva separate from Brahman? Raga Dvesha. Man minus desires equals God. Man minus desires equals God. All religions talk about desire is the devil that stands in between you and God. That's what he's saying. He puts it in the language that we understand, English language. All of that is from all these are from the Upanishadic Mahavakyas. Are you able to follow? So the Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha, the Jiva, this Jiva is having an independent existence and constantly attracted to Mithya. The Jiva having an independent existence and constantly being attracted to Mithya because of what? Because of Raga Dvesha. Because of Raga Dvesha. Therefore, Yatayaha, sannyasis, these ascetics, well established in Vedantic wisdom, what do? They let go of Raga Dvesha. And then what do they realize? Parena nahan nihitam guhayam. That which is higher than heaven, seated in the cave, shining, resplendent. These are all the attributes of the Brahman. These are all indicative. We don't say attributes. These are all the indicators of that Brahman. What is it? That which is higher than heaven. Ashvalayana, you have come to Brahmaloka, but that is higher than heaven. If something is higher than heaven, this is lower. This is lower. Lower, when they say useless in the sense of lower. Useless in the sense of lower. Or I have a well settled life. That's Swarga. Lower it is. Why? Because this well settlement can get unsettled. The well settled can get unsettled any split second. In split second, the whole thing gets unsettled. Therefore, the Upanishads indicates the three distinct paths. What are the three distinct paths? The path of Indraloka, Swargaloka, Pitruloka. Briefly, I spoke about it. Adhik mela adha solradhukku onnu illa. Pitruloka, Indraloka, Swargaloka, path of return. Path of return means they have done some good activities. They have done some punya karma. Very unselfish people there. They were. So they go there. Enjoy the merits of the punya karma as long as it lasts. Enjoy that and come back. That is why it's called the path of return. Unselfishness is the path of return. Selfishness, agitation straight away. Path of return lang kediyadhu. Selfishness is agitation, straight away agitation. Adanal adu pathi pesuradhukku path of return means from unselfishness, exhausting that, you return. திரும்பி வந்துடுறேன் அப்படின்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? ரிட்டர்ன்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? ரிட்டர்ன்னா coming back. Coming back where? Coming back into what? Unselfish person, after exhausting the merits, will come back to selfishness. அவ்வளவுதான். அதுதான் path of return. Swargaloka po, Pitruloka, Indraloka, Swargaloka and all that, which is called as path of return. Path of return na coming back. It's like half an hour la vandurren. They say no, I'll come back in half an hour. Visa period evlo naal irukko, I will be there. As soon as the visa period is over, come back. That's the path of return. As long as the visa period is there, I am enjoyment. Once the visa period is over, that is called path of return. H1, B1, D1, Z1, W1, Y1. Enna category irundhalum, endha category of visa irundhalum, you path of return. This is path of return. Are you able to follow? That's why it's called path of return, which they call it as lower. Are you able to follow? Return. Now you are going to come back. Come back where? Come back to this Mishra. Come back to this Loka. What is this Loka? Again, you have to start. Kanakallam. Zero I. You will come back to start afresh. Snake and ladder game madri. Nare unselfishness lam panni. You go there and then you stay there for a while. Zoom, you drop. And when you drop, you don't drop from 99 to 98, you don't drop. From 99, you drop to 0. Again, you have to start all over. This is Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. Are you able to follow? This is the path of return. Then comes the path of non-return, Brahmaloka. Gita also talks about these three paths. Brahmaloka. What is Brahmaloka? A path with spiritual discipline mingled with meritorious deeds that are desired. As, for example, as I am aspiring for my moksha, I also thought this is a very useful knowledge, interesting knowledge, and the very beneficial knowledge, and I have to talk about this knowledge to as many as possible as I am aspiring for my moksha. What will happen? I will be gathering lot of punya. Also I am gaining this knowledge simultaneously. Because of the karma that has to be exhausted, what will happen? I go to Brahmaloka. This is called the path of non-return. Non-return means you will not come back to this loka. Path of return means you will come back to this loka. Path of non-return means you will not come back to this loka, nor can you stay there permanently. That is why this Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Na Paraha Purira Varikam, you can't be in any loka permanently. Vaikuntha Loka, Shiva Loka, Go Loka, any loka. Yeah. It can be the Christian heaven, it can be the Islamic heaven, it can be our heaven, it can be the Vaishnavite heaven, it can be the Shaivite heaven, it doesn't make any difference. You cannot be permanently in any loka till you get to that point. What is the point? Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. All lokas, Jagat means all lokas put together is Jagat. All lokas put together is Jagat. Is what is called as Jagat. Except Shiva Loka, all other lokas are Mithya, no sir. Except Vaikuntha, all other lokas are Mithya, no. Brahmaiva Satyam. All lokas are Mithya. And what takes you to those respective lokas? Some meritorious deeds takes you to that respective lokas. And you cannot be in that loka for forever. You will come back. You will come back. Kaivalya Upanishad says, all Upanishad says, all enlightened masters says, do not get stuck. The direct path. What is the direct path? The direct path to liberation, which is called this path of Brahmaloka, the path of non-return is called Krama Mukti. This is called Kaivalya Mukti, direct liberation. If you are under a living guru, he will not allow you to get involved in unselfishness. He'll keep whipping. He'll keep whipping. If that guru is not there, you will necessarily get involved. Are you able to follow now? Te Brahma Lokeshu Paranta Kale. And then there is this Paranta Kale time kuduthirka. Brahma Lokana adula evlo time irukku. Yeah. Brahma Lokana evlo time irukku adula. There are time. They have their own time. 4.32, 8.64 is one yuga. Clear? 8.64 billion years is one yuga. And Brahma has to 8.64 billion years is one yuga. And the Mother Brahma has to take care of 100 yugas. So Brahma is 100 yugas. And because he is the leader of the 100 yugas, avarda custodian. Appuram adliye break up. Brahma is longest serving person. Yarunna Brahma. So you have to sit with that Brahma till he dies. So what will happen? Rendu per irukkinga. Who are two? One is you, another is Brahma. Lord Brahma will die, he will come back. What will happen to you? You will go to moksha. You will go to moksha. That is Krama Mukti. Guru says, why? Mithya, that loka is also Mithya only. Te Brahma Lokeshu Paranta Kale Paramrita Parimuchyanti Sarve. All will go there. All will go na. Kaivalya Mukti is singular. Romba kammiyana alada Kaivalya Mukti. Lot goes through the stage of Krama only. Lot go through the stage of Krama Mukti. Very few get to Kaivalya. So he says Sarve, all. All means The pathla vandale, they get carried away they get carried away. They get carried away for wanting to do good. What is getting carried away? Getting carried away in wanting to do good. Wanting to do good na playing God, no. Playing God uda ego satisfaction adha irukka mudiyuma. Playing God is such an ego satisfying thing. So Upanishad says mantras 3 and 4 combined. Mantras 3 and 4 combined. Are you able to follow? In fact, 2, 3 and 4. That's what I said in the beginning itself. Is 2, 3 and 4 is a beautiful set of mantras. Tasmai Sahovacha. Brahma told him. What did Brahma said? Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yoga Davaihi. And then started the mantra, which is also a very famous Purna Kumbha mantra, it is called. From where does it start? Na karmana na prajayadanena tyage naike amritatva manushuhu parena nakan nihitam guhayam vibhrajate yadyatayo vishanti vedanta vignan sunischitartha sanyasa yoga dataya shuddha sattvaha te brahma lokeshu paranta kale paramritat parimuchyanti sarve. What it means is do not get involved in the unselfishness. Karma has to be done for chitta shuddhi. Karma has to be done for inner purification. And what is inner purification means? Reducing the bulk of desires is what purification is all about. Therefore, you clearly understand Karma Yoga means reduction of desires. You have to do karma not because you have to help others, not because you going to do something great to anybody else. You do karma because you have to reduce your bulk of desires. Having reduced the bulk of desires, what do they realize? They realize this, which is what in mantra 3 he says, that which is higher than heaven, that which is higher than heaven, seated in the cave. Seated in the cave means the core. Seated in the cave, I think I explained last session. Core. Shining resplendent. Though seated in the cave, dark, irritar. Seated in the cave, shining resplendent. That the ascetics enter. They enter that state. They enter that state. So, the question that Ashwalayana is asked is what? Brahma Vidya. The question that Ashwalayana asked is Brahma Vidya. Now, what is the answer? What is the answer? Not by karma, not by this, but by having Shraddha Bhakti. Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yoga Davaihi. The ascetics, what do they practice? What do the ascetics have? They have the Shraddha Bhakti and Dhyana. Are you able to connect? The ascetics have the Shraddha Bhakti and Dhyana. They enter. Some directly go, some have one stop. Yeah. Point to point, one stop. Direct flight or stop over. Or stop over in the Dubai airport. Yeah. Sharjah airport not so good. Abu Dhabi airport is also better now. Yeah. Previously, stopover. You should stop over at a very good airport. Adena very good airport. Brahmaloka is a very good. Brahmaloka is a very good airport. They sit there. For all practical purposes, what is happening in Brahmaloka? For all practical purposes, what is happening in Brahmaloka? He is almost kind of liberated. That's why he is not going to come back. He is almost kind of liberated only. But the difference is what? There is still the trace of jiva sitting, exhausting the merits. Are you able to follow exactly what is happening? It is not that he goes to Brahmaloka, does all sadhanas there. It is not all that. All the sadhanas and all that is finished already. But what is happening is that there is the trace of jiva sitting, experiencing something. But you cannot call them as Jivan Muktaha. Why you cannot call them as Jivan Muktaha? Because they didn't get liberation now. There is no liberation now. They go there, sit there in a deha, some deha, whatever the Brahmaloka deha is, they sit in that Brahmaloka deha, experience the benefits of, enjoy the benefits of that karma. Constantly what they will be listening in Brahmaloka? Brahma is the creator. Brahma is the creator. Now, using what he creates? Using the Vedas. Therefore, Brahmaloka constant Vedas are only Vedas. Only the Vedas, the Vedic chanting, the Vedas are he'll be reveling in that. But still Mithya, no? Still Mithya, not very reveling. Half an hour you will get bored. I also find it like that only when I listen to some Vedic chanting. After a few minutes you will fall off to sleep. Yeah. Our enjoyment is nowhere closer to Brahmaloka. Raga Dvesham. So much of dirt is there, so much of suffering is there. Where is that? Don't connect any of your experience to Brahmaloka. That is why we avoid talking about what will happen in Brahmaloka. Lastly, it is a kind of conjecture. Brahmaloka, nobody reported to us. Nobody reported to me saying this is what is happening in Brahmaloka, and nobody reported to me also. Therefore, it is a kind of inferences. It is a kind of inferences. This is what will be happening there under the inference. The Guru says that is also a waste of time. Get to become a liberated person now. Are you able to follow? Become a liberated person now. Te brahma lokeshu parantakale paramritat parimuchyanti sarve. All those in Brahmaloka appears to be quite a few there. All those in Brahmaloka, they are not Brahma. They are not Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is different. They all go to Brahmaloka. The highest possible enjoyment is Brahmaloka. Remember the analysis we have done some time back, long back we have done that. 1 unit of happiness, 100 unit of happiness, million, trillion. Maximum recognizable, enjoyable experience happens in Brahmaloka. Brahmananda is incomparable. Even to Brahmaloka, you can't say the joy of happiness multiplied by 100 times is joy of Brahmananda. You can't say that either. Of all the cognizable, of all the recognizable experiences, Brahmaloka is the highest. Even that is insignificant compared to the joy of the bliss of self-realization, the bliss of self-realization. And what does the Guru says? What does the Guru say? Achieve it now. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita also says 3 paths: the path of the sun, the path of the moon, and the direct path. And the direct path. With this, we have seen the answer to Ashwalayana's question. 6 and 7 lala, he will give the method. Some practical sadhanas he is going to give. But the direct answer is given. What is the question? Ashwalayano Bhagavantam Parameshinam Upasametya Uvacha. Adihi Bhagavan Brahma Vidya. Adihi Bhagavan Brahma Vidyam Varishtam Sada Sadbhi Sevyamanam Nigudam Yayachirat Sarva Papam Vyapohya Parat Param Purusham Yati Vidwan. This is the question, for which he concluded the answer by Te Brahma Lokeshu Parantakale Paramrita Parimuchyanti Sarve, and he concluded the answer. Are you able to follow? This is the question, and then this is the answer. Any number of times you can sit and reflect on these mantras. How much ever you can sit and reflect on these 3 mantras, you people do. I can go on and on and on about the same 3 mantras only. Yeah, I can still speak for the next hour. Another 3 classes also I can speak on the 3 on these 3 mantras. But then you need to have to really get into the spirit of it. What is the spirit of it? Karma will not give moksha. Unselfishness will not give you moksha. Karma will not give you moksha. No, unselfishness will not give you moksha. Number 1. Number 2, since unselfishness will not give you moksha, they ridicule all unselfish activities. When they are ridiculing all unselfish activities, what is the unselfish activities that are done in those days? The rituals. Are you able to follow? And why they are ridiculed is because some karma, you see a direct benefit. These people are doing karmas which is far more deeper. Adrishtapala is going to, they are doing activities which is going to give them this Adrishtapala far more better, superior compared to Drishta, but still it is limited. You will come back to, from Swargaloka, you will come back. Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitarthaha plus meritorious deeds. What will happen? For the sadhana, tapas and all that you have done, you have reached almost there. Almost there. Yeah. இது எப்படின்னாக்கா பேசின் பிரிட்ஜ் தாண்டி ட்ரெயின் நிப்பாட்டிடுற மாதிரி. Yeah. No, before entering Chennai Central, it happens, no? It will cross Basin Bridge, and then you will think, Abada, we are going to reach half an hour. And especially you take the Shatabdi from Bangalore, it will reach, cross, and then it will stop there for 30 minutes. You have to keep sitting. For all practical purposes, you have reached, but still not yet reached. Yeah. For all practical purposes, the flight has entered Chennai, but congestion, we are circling. You can see the airport, airport but you can't land. This is Brahmaloka. For all practical purposes, you have done everything. You don't have to do anything extra and all that. But moksha, you don't. Moksha, you don't get. Why? Because those meritorious deeds are standing in between. What are those meritorious deeds? Means unselfish activities. Unselfish activities are the meritorious deeds. Question is asked, the answer is given in terms of what you should do and what you should do and what you should not do. Seriya? Is a clarification. I'll take it up and then conclude. Venkatachalam. Can you please explain the difference between unselfish and selfish? Very good. Explain the difference between unselfish and selfish. Unselfish and selfless. Sorry. Unselfish and selfless, not selfish. Unselfish and selfless. Unselfishness is action done with kartrutva. Good action done with kartrutva is unselfish. Selfless action. Selfless action is I am an instrument. I am not the doer. I am an instrument. That shift in the doership is what from unselfish to selfless is. Selfish, I am the doer. Doer of bad. Doer of bad. In unselfish, I am the doer. Doer of good.
Good also.
Good. In unselfish, I am the doer, but doer of good.
Good.
Doer of good. Selfless is what? Doer as an instrument. Doer as an instrument. Nobel Prize, the knife will not be thanked, the doctor will be thanked. The knife will not feel, why am I not being thanked? The doctor, with the help of knife, performs the surgery. Who will be thanked? The doctor will be thanked, not the knife. Imagine life. Imagine knife has life. Imagine knife has life. How it will feel? We both are equal. It will save, no? We both are equal. For doctor didn't, like Narasimha, he didn't tear open, no? He didn't tear open. So credit should go to the doctor and credit should come to me also. Okay, correspondingly credit kudungo. If you want to give doctor 100 marks, give him 100 marks, but you have to recognize that I am also a doer. Are you able to follow? In selflessness is a doing without kartrutva. Now, what is doing without kartrutva means? Doing without kartrutva means the effort you put to understand the state of, to understand that you are an instrument. When you do an action with the attitude that I am an instrument, now you are practicing selfless action. Are you able to follow the difference?
Yes.
Technically, now I explained it practically. Now, technically, Selfless means doing that which ought to be done. Like rose gives fragrance, earth yields vegetation, sun gives light. These are all examples. But how does one actually practice selflessness? Sakshi bhavam venum. Sakshiya irukkanum adukku. Sakshi, correct?
Yeah.
When you are practicing Sakshi bhava, udane edutita kaadal endu. When she removed it immediately. When you are practicing Sakshi bhava, what does Sakshi bhava means? I am not the doer. I am not the doer. I am not the doer. Then what am I? Sakshi. Then what am I? I am a
Brahman.
witness. Witness means what? Witnessing the doing. Are you able to follow? Witnessing, like witnessing in the sense of an instrument. This is the difference between unselfish and
Selfless.
selfless. Are you okay, Venkatachalam?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah?
Very good.
Yeah, this is the difference between unselfish and selfless. In unselfishness, the benefit of others is intended. You intend the benefit of other. In selfless, you don't intend the benefit of you or other. There is no benefit intended at all. It has to be done, it is done. In selfishness, your benefit is intended predominantly. In unselfishness, the other's welfare is intended predominantly. In selflessness, the welfare is not intended at all. It is just doing that which ought to be done. Is the difference between unselfish and selfless. Like an actor on the stage, exactly correct. Like an actor on the stage. The actor on the stage does the role. Deep down, he knows that he has nothing to do with
That
role,
character.
that act. He has nothing to do with that act. For his real personality is different. That's why, even though when he is acting like a king, lights off, the king has to carry the throne. He can't say, I am the king, or two fellows carry. Director will say, idiot, you are not the king. It happens, no? During my school days and all that, where we had a lot of interest in watching plays. More than the movies, we like to watch plays. Like even today, anything live, there is always an attraction to that. Okay, movies and all is good, but it's not as entertaining as a live play. So me and my friends, we used to go to that play a lot. Sometimes because of regular visit and all that, we get to see it from the stage, from the screen, from the side. As soon as the lights are off, the fellow will act. As soon, I still remember I watched two plays like this, classic plays where there used to be this guy called Manohar, R.S. Manohar, no fellow. He used to put dramas.
Famous.
And he will put only historic plays. Puranic characters only he will put. He will not put any this. So Puranic plays only he will put. The king has to carry as soon as the scene changes. Scene changes means they will switch off the light, they will change the set, and then lights will be on. So when the lights go off, the king who was acting like the king has to he has to run. Because they have only 20 seconds to do. Change. Actor on the stage. So I used to think, king, poor fellow king, our throne, he has to realize what? Curtains down, he is no more
the king.
He is no more the king. So while he's acting like the king, he understands what? He's not the king. He doesn't assume that I am the king, and he will not say. This is selfless. Are you okay?
Yes, very good.
Actor
Thank
on
you.
the stage. Seriya? Yeah. With this, we conclude for today, and Thursday we continue again. Seriya?